Hello, it's Coffee with Melānie. It's my first show, guys. Are you watching? We're live. Thank you for tuning in Thursdays at 7 p.m. Wow, Women of Wisdom at 88.7 Cove FM. The show celebrates the voices of women through authentic, inspiring conversation and stories rooted in truth, resilience, and lived experience. Audience, if you are listening all over the world as we are streaming on tuneincovefm.com, send us a message on Coffee with Melānie, and we're all live right now on YouTube, or email us at studio@covefm.com. So for some reason I can't hear myself. Am I supposed to hear myself? Today we're welcoming Serena Haines, a board-certified sexologist and the author of Turned On, also a TEDx speaker. Before we talk about your book, you were recently invited to breakfast television in Toronto. Congratulations!
Yes! Oh my god, it was so fun.
So tell us the process. How did it come about? Did it just find you? What happened? They called you up? They heard about you?
Literally. I got an Instagram message one morning from a person, from one of the producers, and I didn't know if it was real or not. And at the same time, simultaneously came in through my website inquiry form, another producer. And I sat there and I thought, is this even real? Because, the world that we live in today is kind of weird. I've actually gotten burned a couple of times. Not a couple. I've got burned once with a marketing deal, with a promo thing. Anyway, it was weird. But I asked them to do a video call. I said part of my policy is a little video call just to make sure that everything is above board, and we did. And that was it. It was 2 weeks later. I was on set, on stage with Mary Jo Eustace and Tammy, and we sat there and we talked about sex after 60.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh my goodness. So sex after 60.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
So.
We'll wait.
So how was the experience? Did they fly you there? What are you allowed to talk about right now?
Well, I can't. Yeah. Okay. So we got to be a little. I'm gonna be a little mysterious.
Oh,
come on. But no, I work with a couple of brands, and we had a little product placement up there, and yeah, I had a really good time. All expenses paid, and went up and had the best 6.5 minutes of my life on stage, on the national stage.
It's 6 minutes long. I bet you it felt like a year.
Honestly, listen, it's so funny. People are like, were you nervous? And I've been doing this for so long now that, sometimes I actually want to get nervous again, because I'm like, oh, I remember what it felt like when I was super nervous. But I love talking about what I talk about, and I love meeting new people, and I love being on a public stage. So it doesn't make me nervous, and it really went by in a blink. I would do it again. We're talking about the possibilities of maybe doing a little regular stint up there.
Oh, great. Because you said you also do a podcast with the ladies in Toronto.
I do, yes. So I have another podcast. It's called Women Unmuted. And you can find that on Apple and Spotify if you guys are listening. And it really is about just unmuting all of the topics, concerns, taboos, stigmas that women have kind of settled into over the years, and just being really loud, after, midlife hits. And I want to say we want this before midlife, but we're coming up with the younger women saying, be louder about your desires, about your pleasures, about your wants and your needs, and just what it means to you to be a quote good woman, rather than what an older society kind of told us a good woman was supposed to be. So that's what we talk about on Women Unmuted.
Oh, okay. So you're speaking out as, my mother's generation. They would never talk about anything like this.
Right.
And, I think, for me, intimacy, because let's talk about being an intimacy coach. What does that really mean? I think people ask about it, and I ask the men and the ladies, and they're like, it's all about sex. But I don't think it's about sex. It's about being intimate, really with yourself first.
Right.
And so let's dive in.
Yeah.
Let's dive deeper.
So people, here's the reality is, when I started the business that I'm in, I did go into it for, coaching sex, and not, no, I'm not sitting in your bedroom watching you do that. It's like therapy. It is therapy, everyone, but it's called coaching because I've chosen a route that doesn't doesn't put a veil of restriction on me. So also I could be your everything to do with sex coach who takes you to your first sex store, or takes you to a party, or maybe introduces you to some sort of event, you know. So I can, there's a little, I don't want to say there's blurred lines, there's no blurred lines, but there's very much more opportunity for me to take you and do things with you and be a wing woman, if you will, and kind of do those things. So the coaching is what we describe as taking who you are today and maybe a little bit of your history, of course that matters, who you are, and helping you become the best version of you starting today going forward. And then generally speaking, therapy is how we would unravel who we've become over the years to see if then we can piece something else back together to become, you know, a healthier version of ourselves. So I take who you are today and we work with that and we move you forward through. So it isn't all about sex, although some people will come in and ask for tips and tricks and lots of things they're afraid to talk about, and it's really hard to talk about with your partner if you've been with for a long time. And if you don't have a partner, it's hard to, you know if you're doing the right thing and if you're feeling the right thing in your body. But the intimacy and even that sexuality, it comes first by knowing yourself. So most of the people who come into my office think we're just gonna, jump into the physical side of it, but really it's about who are you? How do you view your sensuality? How do you view the intimacy that you have with yourself, the pleasure-filled moments you have with yourself, the permissions you give yourself? And that, it can be for anybody. And then once we have that wrapped up in a tight little bow, if you will, then that package can go out and interact with the world around you when you feel as confident as you possibly can. So my goal is to help people feel as confident and sensual as they possibly can in their lives, to live an erotic life. So, the definition of eroticism, again, we've shamed a lot of these words, and they, even when I say erotic, I know everybody listening is going to think like red rooms and all this, but that's not it, like
what's that movie?
50 Shades of Grey.
Yes, everybody thinks it's that.
Right.
That you're going to give us a room like that.
Right, and I mean, I can. I can, but you got to ask for it. But no, it's the eroticism of life is just curiosity and the playfulness of existence. If you think about the definition of eroticism that way. So, but we live a very structured life. We have to, right? We've got to pay the bills, we got to do the thing, but we forget that there's playfulness, and we forget what it was like to have childlike wonder, and we forget what it was like to live that erotic life, that sensual erotic life. And my purpose in the world is to help you find that, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't have to look the same for me. We find out what that looks like for you so that you can embody that to go out into the world and do all of the everyday mundane things that we need to do with that sense of personal eroticism.
That's amazing. I mean, I think that's an eye-opener, not just for women, but for men, right?
Yes.
I have a little shadow here, Adam Scott. What are you thinking about that? Are you thinking about, this is, very educational, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny, a lot of people, I think about the term erotic or as to be as super sexual, sexually explicit and whatnot, but I like what you're saying about that. Yeah, I don't know if anybody can hear me. They can hear me on that.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if anybody can hear me either, because I'm not sure if it's working, because I can't hear myself.
We're having so much fun on day one. I love that I'm here for your day one.
Oh, now I can hear it. You told me to turn that off, Adam.
You gotta play with it. This is what I'm saying. Be curious.
Play with the buttons.
Oh, good.
Okay, so we've got 5 minutes before commercial. So before you became an intimacy coach, who were you before this? I'm curious.
Yeah, I was everybody else's somebody.
Oh,
I was somebody's wife and somebody's mother and somebody's
that gave
daughter
me goosebumps.
and somebody's, everybody else is somebody. And I didn't know who I was. And I, growing up, I always had a bit of a sense of, I don't want to call it outsidership, that kind of is a bit dramatic, but I was always in my head, I was always in my own little world, and I was told quite often, smile more, you look so surly. They called me Surly Serena, because I didn't mask very well. I was just kind of there and I was doing my thing. I know now, not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I got ADHD, but that's totally fine. Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Right? But
I know Adam's got it and I know I have it for sure.
So I don't mask super well. So like
Yes.
even if you see me in public and I'm just in my own little world, like I will look like I'm grumpy, but I'm not. I'm just in my world. But yeah, no, then I followed the line. You know, I followed that linear path of what a good woman was. A good woman. Now mine was a little bit backwards. I'll be honest. So the story has been told over and over. But I did get pregnant before I got married. So my husband and I had the baby first, and then we got married. So that was a little backwards. But the idea of, you know, become the mother, become the wife, get the family, get the dog, get the house, get, you know, do all those things. And I was a paramedic before I met my husband, or when I met my husband. He's a paramedic as well. And I decided to stay home with the kids.
Okay.
So then I became a stay-at-home mom. So then I didn't have my own identity. So I was somebody else's somebody for a really long time. And I looked at him about 15 years ago, probably 16 or 17 years ago now. And much like my TED Talk says, and we'll mind our language on the radio, but I literally looked at him and went, I'm about to bleep things up because I'm about to explode. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know what my purpose in life is. I don't know me anymore. And I always had a fascination with human relationships, human psychology, and sexuality. Growing up again as a young woman in my early erotic years, you know, not a child, but you know, not older, in those early erotic years, exploring my sexuality with boyfriends. You know, it wasn't necessarily anything anybody would roll their eyes at, but I really enjoyed it. And I was told quite often, there must be some trauma. There must be some trauma. That's why you like sex. That's why you want to talk about it. And I thought to myself, well, there's not. And it's
none
wild.
of your business.
Well, none of your business, but that's wild. That's the first place that you go when you see a woman enjoying her erotic self,
So
right?
true.
We don't say that to the opposite genders. We say it to women mostly, right? Like, oh, something must have happened for you to like that, because the script was a good woman doesn't like that. A good woman is like, no, I've got so many other things to do. It's the bad girl who really likes it, and nobody takes the bad girl home to mama.
Labeled this bad person,
right?
Yes, yeah.
So I had enough of it, and for some reason, listening to the stay-at-home moms, I was, you know, around all the time, complaining about, you know, husbands and sex lives and all that stuff. I thought to myself, I got to change this.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
And we're about to go on commercial. Real quick. Hello, and we're back with Serena. Oh my gosh, Haines. Is it Haines?
Haines.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is. I was saying it right the whole time.
I always say like the underwear, you know.
Oh yeah,
Haines
you're
for
right.
white.
It is
I have a little eye
Haines.
in there.
Yes. Okay. I got this little synopsis about your book.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through it. I think this is a really good one from Google.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's a 12-week guided journal to reclaim your pleasure, desire, and body. That's what Turned On is about. In a world where so many women spend their time caring for everyone else, you said that, Serena's journal offers an invitation to reconnect with themselves, their bodies, their confidence, and the joy of simply feeling alive again.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, so, let's go through the book. And how do I feel alive again after 12 weeks?
Wow.
So are you going through with me the 12 weeks? Is this during the therapy?
Well, okay, so a little bit of everything. So I wrote this journal because it really was my journey. Like when I first started, I didn't go straight into sex coaching, right? Like I didn't do that. When I talked to you a minute ago about telling my husband I was about to, you know, like screw things up and something had to change, I needed to change something for me. And what I recognized was that, you know, movement mattered to me, and getting back into my body mattered to me. You know, everybody is going to be different, but this journal is this 12-week process that, no, I didn't do it in 12 weeks. Yes, it was just an exploration over years of me figuring out what, you know, kind of worked and what needed to happen, and then how working with clients, what worked for them, and all of that. So you go through it, and you'll be hit with, you know, a daily thought, a daily practice, and then we go into a physical practice that you'll do just to connect to your body again, and then lots of prompts of how do you feel in this, where would you like to have more sensuality in your life? Where would you like to have more pleasure in your life? All of those, and it gives you a space to write out all of the things that you wouldn't say out loud, right? Or maybe all of the things that you are just afraid to say out loud. So during the 12 weeks, it literally is just every week something for you to do. Do you have to do it in 12 weeks? No. Can you do it over a lifetime? Yes. Can you do it over and over and over again? Of course. The idea is that you would take the practices that I'm guiding you through and adopt them into your everyday. So, for example, there's one practice in there where you just put a hand on your heart and a hand on your lower belly where your sacral chakra is, which is your center of sex energy, and you take a couple of breaths in, and it's not a meditation, it's only 3 or 4 breaths. I want everybody to be able to integrate it into your life and not take an hour out of your life to like burn the Palo Santo and lay out the things. And yes, ritual has a place, and I love that, but sometimes we need to take these little tiny daily rituals. You can do at a stoplight, on your way home, before you transition back into something else, and allow yourself to sit and breathe and be in your own body. So, you breathe into your sex center, breathe into your lower belly, and just literally witness what that feels like in your body. For a lot of people in general, but specifically women, that area of our bodies, we were told to close our legs, don't look at it, don't touch it, it's for somebody else, it's not for you. We outsourced our pleasure always. We don't know what we like, and then we complain that we're not getting what we want, but we've never been given the permission to find out what we want either, because that's yucky, right? And quote, Catholics can't do it. I grew up Catholic. I feel very,
Me too.
I feel like I can talk about that quite a lot.
Yes.
But, came out of that unscathed, if you will, and, moved through trying to find that eroticism in myself. So that's what I try to do with people. So when they come into the office, nothing is cookie cutter in the office. You come into me, you're your own person. That might not work for you. Maybe, I joke around about the Catholic beliefs and stuff, but maybe you do have those beliefs in your body. Maybe that isn't something that you can manage or anything that you ever want to get to, and that's okay. We can find different ways to do that. So it's finding all of the intersections in people's lives as well and working with those
Okay.
as well.
So I noticed that the book is it for women or can men, because I know men have intimacy problems as well. Like we maybe they've grown up in such a religious or whatever background, they're shy or they can't express themselves, and the wife maybe wants them to express themselves. Or like for me, my love language is actions. Like, are you mowing the lawn? Are you putting the garbage away?
Yeah.
Are you doing the dishes,
things?
Adam? Are you all those things, right?
Yeah.
So but now as we age, and we're gonna be empty nesters soon, it's just him and I, and I love that. I've been with him. I've known this man for 27 years. Honey, if you're listening, I love you, baby. And our love language have changed so much.
Yes.
Like we were dating, we lived together, then we had the children, and it changes. Then and then you're raising them, it's chaos.
Yeah.
And then now we're settling into this retirement era, and it's like kind of scary. So people must come to you and say, we travel a lot, of course, and it's fun, it's all that, so it's something new all the time. But how do you find sexy again? How do you find that intimacy with can we just sit down and can we just talk? Can we just have date again?
Right. And that's the key, is saying, can we date again? So just on the first topic, the book is for everybody, except, I will be honest, it was written for women. And I say that because in there's a practice, and it talks a lot about women's parts, right? And we're going to be mindful on the radio, but you can transition them into your own parts, whatever parts you have.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter. But the language in the book is very feminine focused, very female body focused, but you could transition that to anything that you want. But finding sexy after all of this, you just said it beautifully, you have to follow the path of intimacy through your life together and stay connected. I always tell couples, especially young couples who are just having their babies or thinking about having their babies, or dogs or work, whatever that big stressor is in your life, right? You're a couple first, and everything else is second. Everything else is second, and people get so upset with me when I say that, but hear me out. You came together as a couple first. I'm not saying that your children or whatever that second part is really far down on the list. It's a super close second where it might even almost overlap, but they're second because it's you guys against the world, right? And it's you and your partner against everything else. So you have to band together and raise the kids. You have to band together and figure out even how you divide and conquer different responsibilities depending on how many things are going on. Somebody has a stressful job here and somebody's traveling there, but it's not you guys against each other. It's that problem and you guys against that problem together. So you've got to remember that. And if you can remember that and then curate and just nourish and seduce each other for throughout all of your life together, whatever that looks like. It can look like sitting and watching your favorite show. It doesn't have to be extravagant, Every time I say to people, every 2 weeks, so we have a 2-2-2 method. It could be 3-3-3 or 4-4-4, whatever is feasible for everybody. But 2-2-2 is every 2 weeks you have a date night. You have to have a date night. Every 2 weeks, date night. Or
I was like every week.
I was gonna say it could be 1-1-1. Doesn't matter.
Weeks.
But at the bare minimum, every 2 weeks date night. Date night is not going to the local watering hole and just getting food.
Yeah.
Date night is you can go to the local watering hole, but it's the date is planned. We have a reservation. This is the night. Put on that little dress. I'm gonna get dressed up. I'm gonna take it's a true date. We really need to think about that. Anybody can plan it. I really, again, it's a tough little conversation, but I mean, not everybody is in a heterosexual couple, first of all, and not everybody has the means to have the man always in control of that. However, somebody needs to take the reins on that, and I do, in my world, want my man to take the reins on that. So I talk about that a lot, where you want to keep that polarity. So you have that date night where you plan it and you do it. Then every 2 months, you go away somewhere. It might be a hotel, it might be an Airbnb, maybe it's a friend.
Yes.
Maybe it's a friend who's going out of town and you're staying at their place for a night. It doesn't have to be wild, right? And then every 2 years, these are bare minimum, you go away on a vacation together. Something planned, something, sexy-ish, definitely no kids, maybe somewhere hot, maybe not, whatever you love. If somebody was like, we're gonna go to Alaska together, I'd be like, sir,
I love Alaska.
I don't know. Give me an Aperol spritz and put me on a really, really hot iceberg. I don't know, but I'm gonna need something else. But yeah, so every 2 years, then you do that. That can be adapted to everybody's everything. 1-1-1, 3-3-3, like I said. But that has to be priority. And when you know there's that priority, not only does it make you feel like it is you against the world, you guys together against the world, but it gives you something to look forward to. And a lot of the time, especially women, and it's generalized, but I will say, especially women, we need something to look forward to because we get lost in the mundane of every day. Women are erotic creatures. Women are curious. We are growers. We are mothers. We are creators. We are that. We want to keep expanding all the time. Energetically, we're not going to get too woo-woo about it, but the men in our lives are the structure. They're that held space, that held energy. We have it all inside of all of us. We each have it all, right? But one of us is going to oscillate one side or the other. So that creative energy just needs an outlet. We need to be that. What is the visual they have is that the women are like the river flowing, and we need our men to be these solid riverbanks on the other side, or everything's just going to be chaos. So you hold that structure so that we can grow and be magnetic, and then everybody's life will change if the women are happy. Don't they always say that? Happy wife, happy life. I say happy spouse, happy house kind of thing. It doesn't really matter what it is, but allowing space for creativity and eroticism to live, and that tension, eroticism lives in tension and curiosity, and novelty. So I think that's really important.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
keep in mind.
I agree with everything you said. And I get emotional because I feel like I'm aging And I'm like, okay, are we supposed to be doing something different? Are we supposed to be, because I know a lot of the listeners are elders,
Mhm.
and I feel like they're in a different journey in their lives, or maybe they were ill,
Mhm.
or they were going through something, and so I'm wondering if there is a change. Obviously, there's going to be a change,
Yeah.
and how do you find intimacy in that? But before you answer that, I've got to do the station ID. It's Coffee with Melānie. Make sure you tune in on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Wow, Women of Wisdom on 88.7 Cove FM. Okay, let's answer that question. How do you become intimate with your partner again when there's been an illness?
Right.
Because that's a big thing.
Yeah. I mean, illness, it could be, like you said, it could be aging, it could be mobility issues, it could be anything. The intimacy, like we kind of touched on when we started talking, it's not about the physical activities that we're doing, although they're wonderful, but it's the snuggling, it's the touching, it's the kissing, it's the dancing in the kitchen if you can. It's, at a certain age, maybe having your cup of tea together is your ritual, that you have that together. That's your, maybe it's not coffee with Melānie, maybe it's coffee with my lover, and we just sit there and we do that, and that's part of that intimacy. But make sure you're creating space and time to always just come together, just the two of you, right? Like create something that's really special. It could be reading the newspaper, it could literally be anything, but make sure that, especially after an illness or when there's been a caretaking role. So what I'm trying to get at is there's something changes, a dynamic changes when one partner has to take care of another, and then they kind of become the parent of that partner. And it's hard then to look at your partner in a different way again. It takes intentionality, right? So now that I've said that out loud, and if you're listening and you hear it, I hope you just feel seen and heard, because is there a magic button for that? No. But if you're aware of, oh, wow, okay, I knew I've been looking at them differently ever since. And that could be either one. It could be the one who was being taken care of. Or they're not even aware of it, but maybe saying it out loud and saying, this is what's happened, and this is how gently. Yeah. Or maybe now they need you. Or maybe they need me. I mean, SerenaHaines.com. Because that's hard. It is really tough, and it's hard to know, because if you've gone through something where you're caretaking for so long, I don't want to say you forget, but you get into a routine, you get into a role, and then you end up kind of parenting maybe the other person that you're in a relationship with, or maybe the other person starts relying on you even when they don't, quote, need it. Maybe they're not sick anymore, but that's just the what they've gotten into, their routine of getting into that. But now you've got to come back together as a couple rather than that caretaking role. Caretaking is one of the most exhausting things that you can do, whether it's caretaking a pet, a child. If caretaking your partner is literally one of the most exhausting things that we can do, and it's not because our partners are a burden. It's because there has to be such a massive cognitive shift in our brains that it physically and neurologically exhausts us on the inside, and then having to come back from that is, again, a lot of work to rework those neural pathways. I'm a nerd as well, guys. Like, I might talk about sex and eroticism a lot, but I talk about it from a scientific lens a lot of the time. And our brains are our largest sex organ, our largest mental organ, our largest everything, happiness organ. I've heard you talk about the brain. Let's talk about that. Like, our brain is so magical. It's just the neuroplasticity of our brain is crazy. There, the saying that's never too old to teach a dog new tricks. Like, that's basically the idea, that you can learn anything, but what it takes is repetitive rituals, repetitive routine, repeat. Like today, you're learning how to be on the radio today, and this is crazy, and your brain is probably exhausted, and by the time you finish here, you might be like, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. But you will, and then 5 or 6 or 7, or maybe 2 guests down the line, you're going to find yourself pushing all those buttons, and your brain is going to have adapted to the stress that it's under right now. I think that's just such a gorgeous thing to know, that even if you're in what we call like a rut in our relationships right now, with a little practice, routine, and intentionality, you can always change the way you look at things.
Absolutely. No, I learn. That's why I'm here, because I want to learn and unlearn a lot of things that I grew up with. Like you talked about being a Catholic. I mean, I was born and I was born into it and I was baptized, and all of a sudden I had to learn all these things, and then that I didn't agree with. And I'm thinking, how can I, even at 5 years old, going to school, all girls school, taught by nuns, I felt like rebellious. I felt like I needed to speak, but we couldn't speak. You know, like as an Asian person growing up in the very colonized,
Yeah.
you know, we were indigenous and colonized for almost 400 years. The women are super oppressed.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the thing is, it's hard. I'm only learning in the last 10 years how to have a normal conversation with my partner. Because before it was like tradition, you had to follow tradition and everything. And all of a sudden, I was like, I had this epiphany when my mother passed on. I was like, I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go do a bodybuilding
That's
competition.
amazing.
Right? I'm going to learn new things.
Yeah.
But the unlearning part is hard, because when you're talking about caretaking, let's say you took care of the children, and most people that they retire, as soon as they retire, something happens to them. They break a hip, they fall
Yeah.
down, and then all of a sudden, after you just reared your children, now you're looking after your husband
You
or
can't
your
wait
partner.
until retirement. If I had $1 for every time I heard when we retire, or when I retire, when, I'm like, no, today is the day. Is today the day that you have $25,000 to go on that big worldwide vacation you've always dreamed of? No, of course not. But you know what today is? It's a day that you can get coffee with your lover and sit down and make some sort of intention. Like, today is the day. If you forget who you are as a couple throughout child rearing, throughout caregiving, all of those things, it will take a little bit of time to get back, but it is possible if you still like them. I'll be completely honest, some people in some relationships after a course of time are going to have their time frame, reasons and seasons, and maybe forever, like, and that's okay too. But just to be aware that if you want it and you do still want to be in it, it does take a lot of intention and it does take a lot of work, and you've got to make that choice.
Yes, no, it's true. Today's the day, folks. If you are listening to us, oh, I don't see any emails. Come on, you guys can email us at studio at Cove FM. Or is there anything there? Is there any comments there?
Yeah, we've got flip the camera.
Oh.
It's sideways right now.
Oh, it's
But
sideways.
I flipped it though. We're good.
Okay.
back. And then you got a thumbs up.
Okay.
A
Awesome.
hello and a thumbs up. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we got a Axel HQ said hi.
Oh, hello. How are you folks?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions or comments, or, you know, Serena Haines is only here for a short time because, you know, she's going to take off, man. She's going to do amazing things across Canada and the U.S. maybe.
I'm excited. No, I'm excited.
Is there new things in the
There's
works?
new things in the works.
Oh,
Yeah, and
let's talk
there's always
about
new
that.
things percolating. I can't talk about them all.
Oh.
I'm not allowed to talk about some of
no.
them.
Okay.
But no, there's some partnerships that I have that are expanding a little bit, and yeah, so we're kind of moving into. I coached for a really long time, so I've been doing this for about 10 years, a little bit more than 10 years. The speaking and doing keynotes and doing my TED Talk and things kind of started about 2 or 3 years ago. I wanted to really get up on stage, but I always hosted shows. So I host a show called Just the Tip. And it's just a really fun, interactive night that you can come out, have some drinks, have some, food. I usually do them at like bars or restaurants, like something that's a little bit of a lively atmosphere. And then you come and I get up on stage and I talk about a topic. Like I usually read the room. I'm not going to lie. I'll read the room of the ticket holders that came in and see what do I think these guys want to talk about tonight. Talk for an hour or so. We play a few games, win prizes. I do a Q&A. Like, it's really, really fun. So that show I would love to take on the road. So if anybody's listening and you have any sort of like venue that you would like to have Serena Haines come in and do Just the Tip, let me know. And then More Than the Tip is a comedy show. So I hire local comedians to come in and do sets between what I do so that we can all laugh and have a really good time. So those are
Oh.
the things that I can talk about, and then there's a few other things that are secrets.
Is there another book in the works?
There's always another book in the works.
Oh.
If I can sit down long enough and trap myself in my chair and actually write, like every time I watch a movie or something with authors and they're like, well, I've got to go on this retreat to the middle of the desert where there's no Wi-Fi. I go, yeah, girl, I get you. Like, I totally understand.
Let's go. I want to go.
I was like, okay, let's go. We'll go write the book. But honestly, if I even know that there's laundry to do or there's maybe there's good food I just got at Costco, I'm like, ooh, I want to go try that snack. Anything to distract me from the thing I'm supposed to be doing in the moment. So it is tough. But when
My daughter calls that procrastinating.
Right, so I procrastinate. But then when I want to get it done, I'll get it done.
Yes.
Right? Like when I had the book in mind for a really long time. And it's funny, this is something that I really like to tell people. They say, well, how did you know you were an author? And I said, well, I don't know I'm an author, but I couldn't, it's such a weird thing to say, but I hope you understand. I couldn't write the book I couldn't be an author until I was an author. So I know I have a larger book that I'm writing, but I couldn't let myself, for some reason, I couldn't step into the energy, the mindset of being, quote, an author. That just sounded so wild to me. Like, who do I think I am? I'm not an author, So I had to write a book. So I wrote a journal. So I did that. And now that I can say I'm an author, well, now nothing's stopping me from writing another book because I've already stepped into that identity, right? So sometimes you have to step into the identity in a way that isn't perfect to become what you are, because it gives you the permission to open yourself up to other opportunities.
No, it's true. Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
I went to school for fashion design, and I didn't feel like a fashion designer for a long time because I was just sewing for other people.
Right.
And I was just doing tailoring, and I was doing stuff, and I said, no, I want to do the runway. So then we did the runway, and then we were invited to go to New York and to Paris, and like that was exhausting. But I was like, I felt like a fraud the whole time because I didn't do a big show.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But I wanted to. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is my new thing, my new era, and now this is my new retirement gig, apparently.
Well, now you're on the radio. I mean, my God, that's amazing. And hosting events and doing all kinds of stuff and getting up in front of people. So, you're stepping into a different identity. So back to our brains and just the neuroplasticity of it. Like, we want to stay curious, right? Curiosity, it really is the spice of life. Like, and that's eroticism to its core. So stay curious with your life, but stay curious in your relationship as well and ask more questions. I guarantee you, if you've been with your partner for 10, 15, 20 years, I don't care, maybe even 5 years, they're not the same person they were when you met. There's something else they like. There's something maybe now they dislike that they used to like. There's a different way that they carry themselves. All of those things change. There's nothing, in my opinion, this is not fact, but in my opinion, there is nothing that will kill, I don't want to say a relationship. There's nothing that will kill the relationship you have with yourself faster than stagnation. If you just sit and you just stay all the time, exactly the same. Now, can you be the rock for somebody and you are that steady person? Absolutely, but you're facilitating somebody else's growth as well. That's something. I think that's really important because we're not all movers and shakers and magicians, and there are going to be some people who really love the staying home and the doing the things. I love that. But facilitate it for somebody else. Whether that's, just listening to somebody's ideas, encouraging somebody, allowing all of that energy to flow through you, but you're still not staying so stagnant that you're not allowing other people to change as well. So we have to have that room to grow and change to maintain the eroticism in our lives.
It's true. You think about like how you're changing and you're this, but then maybe you didn't have that conversation with your partner and saying, well, maybe there are other things you'd like to try or do or travel to. Maybe we're not going to go to a beach. Maybe we're going to go to Alaska. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do this.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
You're good. Yeah.
Hello. I just talked over that station ID. Thank you very much, Adam.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is off topic,
Yeah.
but I want to ask the audience and you, if you, because I'm a gardener, I just started gardening, and I have a beautiful garden. I love it. So I wanted to ask, if you were a flower, what type of flower would you be and why?
Oh, I love that question.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know a whole bunch of flowers, but the first flower that comes to my mind is just a daisy.
Ah.
And I don't know why. I love daisies. I have childhood memories of lying in like fields across from my grandmother's house. And I always say for hours. I'm sure it was like 10 minutes, but like it just felt like hours. And I would pull off every tiny little petal and do like he loves me, he loves me not, that kind of thing. But I didn't really care. It wasn't that. It was really just the methodical pulling of it. So yes, I killed the daisies, but I ripped them apart. But anyway, but I love a good daisy.
Yes.
There's wildflowers in the median on the highway near my home, and it's this beautiful wildflower garden, and a bunch of daisies are growing with other wildflowers. But in general, because I don't know all the names, but wildflowers, like I would be some sort of like little, bluebell or little weed that you see.
Mayflower.
Something. Yeah, I don't even know the flowers, but definitely daisies and wildflowers. Yeah.
That's really nice that you said that.
Yeah.
I think that's so you.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to just be. I just want to pollinate the world.
I love that. Oh boy. We're not going to get into that today.
Okay.
But I actually just did a wedding a couple weeks ago, and she wanted daisies.
Oh no way.
Yeah, for her
Yeah.
wedding, like her reception, her cocktail area, and I thought, how sweet is that?
Yeah.
And so
I
she's like,
love
is
them.
that so simple? I said, no, that's you. So I picked, like a Shasta daisy, a little, like just something that looked like a daisy.
Mhm.
And I put them all together. And she's like, wow, I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
It's like,
But there's something about a beautiful daisy. I love a daffodil as well, but I think my grandfather had daffodils in his garden. So it's just an idea, but I wouldn't want to be a daffodil. You know what I think about when you're asking about that is Alice in Wonderland, when the flowers come to life and all of the, whatever white flower it was the old white, she was, or he, whatever, was the wise flower. And I don't remember what that was, but the daffodil was kind of a jerk and I didn't like that. and then like the little daisies and stuff, they were just so happy.
Yeah, they were so happy.
Yeah,
right.
that's what I love.
And it's nice. It's kind of a childhood thing too, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's,
and honestly, as I'm growing as I'm maturing, so I'm 48. Just
Oh,
no,
congratulations.
No, I'm not. I'm 47.
Oh.
I've been aging myself a year for almost 2 years now. I am 47, but I've found myself, I want to say regressing, but as I'm growing up, I'm recognizing that everything that I ever wanted to be when I was a child, and I was afraid to be, or I wasn't allowed to be, because of course you have to grow up when you're a child, I'm going back to. So it's, the wildflowers. Yeah, and this is the permission that we're giving people, is to allow yourself that. Somebody said once, not somebody that I know, but I read somewhere once, if you ever want to find your purpose in life, look back in your life, into your childhood, think about what gave you the most pleasure, and then recognize what patterns showed up in your life throughout your life. It doesn't have to be educational, it didn't have to be monetary, it didn't have to be any of that, but what showed up in your life. So for me, playfulness was always something that I actually never felt like I was allowed to be, because I was the oldest daughter, the oldest grandchild, the perfect example of everything. I had to sit and look proper in my little dress while everybody else, all the 20 grandchildren, got to go running around, but I had to be the example. And I know I love my mom and dad. They didn't do it on purpose. They didn't stifle me on purpose, but that was just how that worked. But now I'm like, well, now it's my turn to run around and get my dress dirty. Like, that's what I really want to do now. So I do that, and then what showed up in my life consistently was relationships, behaviors, human behaviors, body, being a paramedic, and sexuality. So I just took all of that, and that's kind of what I'm going for. And just a passion. It's a passion to learn different people and learn what they love and help them become the child they always wish they could have been.
Yes. Well, the other day was it yesterday or the day before? We had the first downpour.
Oh yes, yesterday,
right?
Yeah.
And so I was just watching these videos of women Filipino women on Instagram, and they're doing all these love songs about heartaches and stuff like that, and they were singing it in the rain. And I was like, I want to do that, but I don't want to do heartache song. I want to do a childlike play.
Yeah.
But then, like, I videotaped myself because it was like a downpour, and we literally had a waterfall going down our window, and I was like, that's not a good thing, but like that's a really cool backdrop.
that's not good structurally.
I know,
but that looks super whimsy.
I think there's something wrong with our gutters, honey. But I was like, it's a waterfall. I said, okay, I'm gonna set up my camera, and I went outside, and I put a white T-shirt on, and I was like, yeah, and little pink shorts, and I was like, I'm gonna jump in the puddles, like there's like a flood happening in there. You gotta show
me that video. That sounds delicious.
Oh, I put it on Instagram, girl.
Good.
It's on there. You gotta watch it. But then afterwards, I was like, I was supposed to be like playing in the puddle in the rain and everything, and I was like, this was kind of like a sexy dance, and I was getting a lot of like DMs, and I was like, whoa, I just meant it for it to be childlike and fun and just celebrating my inner child.
Right.
And that's my next question, is that I heard, because you were a paramedic and you know anatomy, right? So I heard that intimacy starts in utero.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I Googled that.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
So when does intimacy with ourselves actually begin? Well, self-intimacy isn't something we were born fully aware of. Its foundations may begin before we were even born. In the womb, a baby is already exploring its body, touching its face, sucking its thumb, and responding to the sounds, of course, movement, and the rhythm of its mother's heartbeat. These are early experiences help develop the nervous system and create the first building blocks of body awareness.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
That is so cool. Yeah, that is really cool. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, we're not just little blobs in there.
No.
Every time I had a baby, I had 3 babies, and I would play music for them, and they were all jumping around and dancing in there, and like they really loved it. And one of my babies, her foot would come out of my belly all the time. I could see it.
That's really scary.
So big, anyway. And
But remember, you would tap your belly, and it would tap back.
Yeah, I would tickle her little foot, and she'd like kick me. It was like, it's really cool, but that makes a lot of sense. And like our nervous system, I'm glad that touched on your nervous system, because your self-intimacy is a nervous system regulator, right? We're self-soothing all the time, and it just depends on how you choose to self-soothe. And in a world that has disconnected us from our own bodies and tells us we're supposed to soothe with external stimuli all the time, it's really tough sometimes to get into your body and soothe yourself, just you. So in my TED Talk, I mentioned and talked a little bit about how self-pleasure is one of your ultimate elite forms of self-regulation and self-soothing, because it gets you into your body. So if we can, yes, there's going to be the juicy parts of it and the sexy parts of it, but if you can kind of get down to the core of what it feels and what it means to soothe your body, and instead of outsourcing pleasure, taking that all for yourself, and then allowing your nervous system to sit in that safety of saying, I got me.
Yes.
And anybody else who gets me, I've chosen to let you in, rather than a necessity or a need that the world told me I needed somebody else to soothe me. I can do it myself, and now I feel more powerful because I can also allow somebody else to do it because I feel safe in my own choices.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see how that would start in utero, and hopefully all of the babies, most of the babies, have a really calm person, host to bring them into the world.
Sometimes
Because but that matters. I can see exactly why that would matter. Right?
Yes. Well, back then, like they smoked and drank
Oh my
martinis.
God, my mom smoked in the delivery.
Well, that's what happened to you.
That was the thing. She was having a cigarette. She pushed the baby out, and then she had another cigarette. She was told by her doctor to smoke because I was growing too fast, and it would
Stunt your growth?
stunt my growth.
Oh my God, that's horrific.
And so that was kind of a medical thing, I guess, back in the 70s. They were like,
Wow.
well, smoke cigarettes, your babies won't be too big.
Wow,
God.
that's crazy. Well, before I was like in labor, I was self-soothing, and you know what I asked for? Peanut butter buster parfait
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah, that would be
from
nice.
Dairy Queen.
That's so funny that you said that. On my first baby, I wanted a purple Mr. Freezy.
Oh,
It was middle of February. It was a snowstorm, and I was like, I want a purple Mr. Freezy.
why purple?
I have no idea. I don't know. I wanted a purple Mr. Freezy, and I just told this story to my partner a little while ago. I took off during I was in active labor, and I looked at my sister, and I was like, I need to go to the woods. You need to take me. And there was a place, we won't get into where it was, but it was like an off-road thing. And I was like, you need to take me there. There was no cell service. And that's where I was when I got the call, this like choppy call from the hospital that said, we're gonna induce your labor, because I was 2 weeks late. And there 2 weeks. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I was going to the woods
Is that
to
even
just
possible?
Honestly, he came out, his fingernails were like this long.
No.
The doctor was like, we waited way too long to take the baby out. I was like, oh my God.
You need to have a smoke.
Yeah. I was like, I should have been smoking.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got 2 minutes to go. So I want you to do a little plug on
Okay.
yourself, because I mean, we're not supposed to, but I mean, you're so incredible. You're
No.
such an incredible speaker. You know a lot of things. So I think that, where can we find you?
Yeah, of course. So SerenaHaines.com right now is the place to find me. And Instagram at Serena_Haines, as well as where you would find most of my content. And you can get the book on Amazon.
Awesome. I can't wait. Are you going to get one, Adam? For your wife? For you?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you
yes.
don't have any intimacy problems. Come on. Are you kidding me? I think everybody has it.
Everybody can
I
grow
think-
in their intimacy.
Yes.
That's
Although
the
I
thing.
called Adam one day and he's like, I'm just gone outside to text because I'm on a date and I'm not supposed to be using my phone right now. And I was like, that is so awesome.
No, it was the next day.
Oh, it's the next
It was the
day.
next
Oh,
day.
yes, you texted me the next
I
day.
texted you
Oh,
the next day,
okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Got
He says,
it.
I didn't get back to you. Right.
Oh,
Yes.
because you were on a
Because
date.
you were
Oh,
on
that's
a date.
lovely.
That's right.
And I was like, that is so sweet.
Do you remember why you texted me?
Huh?
Do you remember why you texted me?
I can't remember. Was
You were saying, do I have any advice to share for any couples advice or dating advice?
Oh, couples advice and
yes.
dating advice.
Yeah.
Yes, you got a few seconds.
Oh, well,
He's like, and now.
Well,
now,
my,
say it right
my,
now.
my advice was in my cheeky response the next day when I was like, I didn't respond to you because I was on a
Because
date.
I was on a date.
Yeah.
So he prioritized his date night. Exactly. Bravo.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I learned so much, and you're a lot of fun, and I can't believe that we have a lot in common.
Oh, yeah.
Because
We really
Kilana
do.
was late too. She did not want to come out of my body.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you.
thank you very much. It's Coffee with Melānie, and I'll see you guys next time. Woohoo! Oh my God, I did it! I did
You
it!
did it.
Thank you, Serena.
Oh, I'm so proud
Oh my
of
God, I
you.
would not have been able to do it if you weren't here, Adam and
Mine.
Yeah.
Serena.
Oh
You
my
were
gosh.
incredible. You had a lot. That's why I wanted you for the first show, because I said,
Just one thing.
oh, there you
No,
go.
you do you.
Oh,
Do
no.
you, and then we'll do the.
So you gotta get out of this because it's 8 o'clock right now. Yeah, don't hit stop. Just hit fade out right there. Yeah. Fade out and roll. Because we're at the top of the hour. So
Oh, so do you always fade, or should I have just waited?
you should have you should have soft deleted that one song.
Oh,
Yes.
the end.
Yeah, you should have soft
But
deleted
how do
the
I
song.
know? Because before,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have.
Well, so if you recall, when we were mapping out your show and you wanted to leave that song in, I said it was 2 minutes and 25 seconds long. I said just remember, make sure you're signing off at 2 minutes and 25 seconds out before the hour.
Right.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I believe we just
Okay.
talked for an hour.
That's okay because if you play it, you can fade it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time. Coffee with Melānie at 88.7 Cove FM.